my thing of holding. But yeah, it's like rather than having Miss Colonel Mustard in the library with the whatever, you are your character in the dungeon with your +1 magic sword or whatever.
So you're saying you get to play the murderer.
Right. It's just...
As is generally the case.
It took the game off the board and put it in your imagination.
Right.
But it was still very much, roll the dice, do the action, this is the outcome.
Have you guys ever, and this just came to mind, and it strikes me as being a good idea, have you ever, as GM, sometime Eric and Mike, put the NPC creation in the hands of the players? What if you had a complete group-sourced campaign?
Yeah, sometimes possibly. I do. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
In the actual play, I said, Dan, do you have a servant?
Fair enough.
Right. So I mean, and I've.
You didn't ask me if I had a servant.
That's because you are a servant. How?
No, but there are cases when you do that, and it's the reason I do it is because I don't want to invest that much time and effort going into something like that. I know the story I want to tell, but I kind of want to make it organic, and I don't want to burden myself with a bunch of backlog stuff. So sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll over plan, and sometimes I won't, and it just depends on how I feel. And in this case, it was like, okay, well, I don't want to focus too much on the periphery stuff, so I'm going to let you guys kind of make that stuff up. So
I like that. By the way, I think that's a good way to do it.
I think Mike, if I recall correctly, the first time we played a sea-based campaign many years ago, you allowed us to help flesh out the NPCs and their names, and and we were
Was that the bang boat?
No, this is way before that.
But yes, we did flesh.
That was very hands-on.
We did flesh out the bang boat. That's true.
That was on random charts.
Wow.
I think.
You just cut this out of the show.
No. I might bump this up in the order a bit.
I know there are examples of NPCs that probably were not introduced to have any kind of major impact on a campaign that evolve in such a way that they end up having a.
I can name one right now.
I was just going to mention one in particular that I think started as just a kind of Mike just kind of tossed it in. It was a gnome named Wanalon.
Oh, and he ended up
character,
being like your foil.
Well, I assume I made him my foil. I kind of you guys were all like talking to him, and I'm playing a halfling, and this is a gnome NPC. You guys are all giving him all this attention. My character got jealous, decided that he hated him, and they ended up being fierce competitors. He opened a restaurant across the street from my restaurant.
That's right.
And it turned into a food fight from his restaurant to my restaurant that then turned into a knife fight. And of course, I was going to win that.
We've just opened a door into Jason's psyche.
He ended up going to jail. What were you going to say, Eric? Who were you going to bring up?
Skeeter.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh, that was terrible.
That's true.
Skeeter was just a guard and a guard check.
Oh yes.
That Jason just hauled off and blasted.
No, there's more to it than that, and you know it.
He was going for his weapon.
Yes, he was.
You beat him in initiative.
Yes.
And you shot him in the face with a shotgun.
I blew him away.
Right.
Right.
And of course, he didn't die immediately because I had to give him a lingering death. So he was reaching for his wallet, and you were standing over him, and you were like, "What do you thought he was going for a weapon or something?" And he died, and you pulled that out, and it was his wallet, and had a picture of his wife and kids. And from that moment on, you assumed the role of like the benefactor because your character felt so bad for doing that.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
and that's not the only time I've done. I feel so guilty about things like that in game. I did this for another NPC and for Valcon.
Okay.
Valcon.
Here we go.
Early on. Yeah. I'm sorry, I got to talk about the characters. Would you rather I just say? How about I just say a high level character that I played in a fantasy campaign one time? Would that be better? Okay,
I still know what you were talking about.
Who was a Viking?
No, we'll just turn it into a Gamers Table drinking game.
Sure, yeah. Anytime Jason says Valcon, take 2 shots. Okay, so early on, we killed a city guard in the sewers of Greyhawk City.
If he was in the sewers, he was on something shady anyway. So
no, the city guard. He's supposed to be down there.
City guards, do they routinely patrol the
Mike
sewer?
had him patrolling the sewer that day. But one of them got away.
What a crappy position.
Yeah. Well, you pissed me off. You're on sewer duty.
They let him finish this, it gets stranger.
We kill one guy. We kill one guard. The other guard gets away. Well, the bad thing is in Greyhawk City, at least at that time, when you get to Greyhawk City, you have to register your sword. Its description, what it looks like, the whole bit.
That's bizarre.
So here's
how bizarre.
Valkon with his sword that he used to kill this guy. The other guard gets away. I'm assuming that he's going to give a description of my sword, and I'm going to get caught. So we go out and we find another guy who's also from the north. We get him good and liquored up. We put my sword on him. We tie him up and put him in front of a guard shack, and we'll leave a note, Spider-Man style, that says, this is the guy that murdered the guard in the sewer or whatever. It was something like that. And so this guy got framed for the murder, killing, or whatever you want to call it, that my character committed.
Just accept it.
So, and this is early in his career. This is like 5th level or whatever.
But
so
Mike never forgets anything.
Mike never forgets anything. And this come back to haunt me years later. This guy that I had made into Valkon.
It was a frame job, Jason.
I framed him.
The guy you
framed.
framed.
I framed him. He comes back later claiming to be me, and now he's a badass. He's not just some random.
He was honing his skills in prison,
right? Some random chode. Well, and it was at Gibbering Gate. It was like an insane asylum in the Bayous.
You were the evil man who wronged this guy in his past.
Yes.
And I atoned for it. I went back and did we end up getting him back, or did he die? Or
but the point of it is, Jason does feel guilty when he wrongs NPCs.
Maybe he should stop just hauling off and killing people.
Right.
Like he just did in the Victoriana campaign.
Game, yes.
Straight murder.
Whatever.
He straight out murdered like 8 freaking halflings.
No. In my own defense.
And
Rihanna.
they had sticks.
No, I come around the corner. They're beating my contact.
No. Well, yes, that one you were being assaulted.
Huh?
We're talking about in the bar.
In the bar when you killed a whole line of people.
Yes.
Yeah, you straight
But
shot
even
him.
still, you interrupted some cops beating up a
No.
man.
No. It was 3 guys, one of whom was a uniformed police officer.
It's not a law that all fights got to be fair.
I didn't say it
Probably
was.
deserved it.
Dan, did I pull my gun and just blast the guys? No, I didn't. I pulled my gun. No, first I said, geez, here come the cops. And I was trying to get him to run off.
We have all of this on audio.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yes.
We do have it all on audio. And my point is that when the guy came at me, Eric said he was a scuzzbag, just some dirtbag. And then all of a sudden, oh no, that's from Scotland Yard. Yeah, that's where he's from. Yeah, quite.
It does. Whether
It certainly does matter because it would have made a difference.
No, whatever.
I didn't shoot the cop, did I? Did I shoot the cop?
You didn't shoot
He's trying
the
really
body.
hard to justify
You shot an
this.
inspector.
No, I don't think I should have to justify it because Eric's description of the guy was that he was a scuzzbag.
Yeah,
and in fact, I think if you go back and listen to the recording, I say, so he's just some dirtbag. He's not like some important guy.
In fact, did listen to the recording as recently as yesterday. I know what you said.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure it's all on me, Dan. It's always on me. It's never on anybody else.
It's
Murder.
And that's why you feel bad. It's because
I don't feel bad about that at all.
It's a knee-jerk reaction.
I don't feel bad about that at all. And in fact, I'm going to kill Dan's character tonight.
I got another anecdotal NPC story.
And by the way,
that
Jason
will not-
still does take all this stuff very personally.
Yes.
Yeah, no one else does. Just me.
This won't take near as long. Okay, so everyone at this table has probably killed hundreds of goblins in their
Hundreds
time,
of
right?
thousands.
Yes.
But as soon as you give one of those goblins a name, he becomes Modo, and then he's an important NPC that everyone remembers.
Right. Modo was whose Bane was that?
That was John's.
John's.
Well, it's the legend.
He got away.
The thing that got away.
Right, exactly. All it was just giving that a name.
Probably more to
And
rub
I
salt
think,
in the
as I
wound.
recall, it was that fight, and my thinking was this is the last goblin. You guys just slaughtered a whole bunch of his friends. He's just going to take off. And I believe somebody said, I wonder if that one had a name, or they were making fun of John because of it. And I had him turn around and say, "My name is Modo," and run off.
Well, that's, I don't know if you notice this or not, but that's a reoccurring theme. NPCs are generally just a reason to bag or get under the skin of one of the players.
Well, yeah.
You know?
That's just us being douchebags.
Well, to each other.
Yeah,
When in Rome.
There's plenty of NPCs that I try and draw out any kind of an emotional reaction from the players, and
like
more
with-
times than not, it's going to be ire.
Right,
It's
well-
not going to be you're not going to fall in love in game.
No, it's like like Clean Steve and the Cleaner beating his ass. It's like Jason killing the cop. It's
Right.
whatever you need to do to make people think, it's not what I expected.
Right, and
Yeah, that's not entirely true.
You
because,
gotta throw a curveball.
when Eric ran his first D&D campaign for us in Belleville, my character fell in love with, courted chased through time, rescued, returned to the present, and married an NPC.
And that was all in the first level.
Well, it took place over several levels. I think we were like, it was like
I'm actually impressed.
level
Chased
1
through
to like
time?
12.
Yes.
And that was
That's
day
impressive.
one.
Yeah, but I mean, how often has that
And it
happened?
turned out she was a man.
What campaign was this?
An ogre man.
We weren't in that one.
Yeah, you guys weren't playing.
Yeah,
It was
that was-
before you guys started
Yeah,
showing.
that was that was the very first game Eric ever ran for us in
was
Belleville.
Greyhawk.
The very next game was Shadowrun. That's when all you Jerseyville cats started showing up.
Jason could match that, but we don't want to bring that up, do we?
What?
So how
It
many
would be another Valcon.
how many NPCs Mike became PCs in yours?
NPCs
Yeah.
become PCs.
Yeah.
You get upgraded.
Yeah, the only one off the top of my head would be Mortellin.
And Night Stalker.
Nobody.
No, that was
ever
always my
played him.
character.
Yeah.
No,
The
Eric
original.
played a version
No,
of
he-
Night Stalker.
Well, that's a version. I mean the actual Mortellin.
The actual
Brian
character.
took.
Well-
and played him.
Was it
Was-
because
Those,
Brian...
those were new incarnations of those
Did
characters too, though.
who created Raztan?
That was a
Was
video
that an
game.
NPC?
I believe that
It
was
a
a
video
game that-
Namco Bandai.
No, but I could have swore that was.
I think that was Eric first.
Was it
I had
Eric's
made a character named Raz.
Because I remember that's back when I would just.
But he wasn't
like,
a barbarian like the
No.
video game. He was a thief.
Yeah, I would just randomly show up some weekends and you guys would be playing, and I'd just jump in, and you would just have an NPC
Yeah.
or a character made up, and you'd say,
Yeah.
"Here, you can play this."
Yeah, if you're not a regular, then
Yeah.
an NPC becomes PC.
So, and I think
possible.
that's how I actually got a hold of Rastan, and
Oh,
I
sure.
and I liked playing him so much. I always he would just happen to show up in your group one night.
I am amazed at how
I'm
many.
reminded of The Gamers at this point. For those of you who are familiar with The Gamers, it's a Dead Gentleman independent movie.
Check it out. Great
Check
stuff.
it out. Dead
Would you
Gentleman.
say it's a dead gentleman joint?
Check it
No,
out.
because I think Spike Lee will sue me if I say that.
Wonderful.
I was just thinking, it's amazing how many of Sean's old characters' names I can remember.
Okay.
Radic Bonk,
Radic the Bonk, yeah.
Radic the Bonk.
Gideon the Trickster,
Gideon the Trickster.
Lord Vane.
Lord
Well,
Vane
it's
is
because
my
he
favorite.
had a handful of characters. It's not like he had 100.
Right.
You know.
Lord Vane showed up as an NPC in that D&D campaign that I was just
I think
talking
most
about.
of my characters become NPCs.
Yeah.
Yes. And that, I think that is born because
They
you
got
know-
arrested?
Well, no. It
Sean
was,
stopped showing
Yeah,
up.
you have a person who's playing who stops showing up, and then you just kind of incorporate their character into your thing.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like what you did with your army Shadowrun characters. They became NPCs
Right,
in
yeah.
the ongoing campaign.
And not just NPCs, but
Well, it's just
like,
everybody liked my character so much they just had to have him there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't think the army NPC Shadowrun guys were just NPCs. They were like pivotal, very
Well,
important.
they were important in the story. They weren't super NPCs where they would come in and save your bacon.
Oh, I think Beast came in and saved our bacon a couple times.
Probably only
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
suited
Yeah.
his ends.
I don't think he really saved our bacon. He was kind of a plot device. We ended up kind of
We were always
stumbling
saving
onto
him.
a run that Beast was also
Yeah.
on, or
I just remember getting in his way a couple times.
yeah.
Well, and if you're messing around with the upper echelon of the Shadowrun community and you go on a run, I mean that just it'll happen that way. You're going to end up having to cross paths with somebody else who may be working, a parallel job or even one that's intersecting with yours. So
I think having your character become an NPC should be a ultimate reward.
I think of it as a reward too.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to run across Fuzz.
Yeah, well, you see, okay, you bring that up, but that brings up one of the things that I think is the most lame is when you have a character that's retired and is infinitely powerful and wealthy, and my next character is his son.
Yeah,
because all you're trying to do is grandfather in all the wealth and all the loot, and that's just lame.
Right.
Well,
or bequeathing, or just giving your new
Right.
character the great sword that you found.
it's like,
and
I
all
mean,
stuff.
if that's what you want, then just keep playing that guy, or
Right.
I've tried it, Dan. It didn't work for me. So
The one time I did that, it was with Fuzz. Fuzz retired and went to Switzerland to train mercenaries for a living. I played a guy who had been trained as one of his mercenaries.
But did you have some of his gear?
I did not have some of his
no, that's
gear,
totally different.
It's when you try to jockey a past campaign for current benefit.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
I
think
like-
you like us to have any connection at all with old campaigns.
I don't. I like things to be new.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're running like let's say Shadowrun for instance, and I use I'll throw in old characters from a previous campaign as just flavor text mostly, and it's just to try and maintain a continuity.
I can understand that.
You know, and it also kind of gives the people if you played those characters or if you
you're throwing them a bone, you're stroking their ego.
Yeah,
is what you're
and
doing
it's
at
like,
that point in time.
that's my old guy.
Yeah,
that's really
man,
cool.
I remember that guy was so awesome. Why did we stop